everyone, it's Kathy, and you're back here on my YouTube channel, Kathy's Random Acts of Stampin', and back here in my craft room. If you saw my video Friday, my live, you would have seen me show this beautiful paper. And I told you that I was going to come back and I was going to show you how I did this particular card here. So with all that being said, I have chosen another piece of that paper, not the same one. I wanted to do something, maybe a little bit different. So what I did is I chose a piece like this, and I did go ahead and cut it. This is a 6x6 piece of paper, and I took the die from the Garden Meadow. This is the new set that will be available to everyone on November the 7th. And this is that little double stitch dome that came in it. And I'm going to go ahead and cut that. And the reason I cut this, I cut it just to fit where I wanted this to cut, saving this piece for another card or whatever. So we're going to lay that to the side. And I'm going to tape this down and run it through. You want to position it so that you get exactly what you want off of the piece of designer series paper. So that's what I want. So I'm going to go ahead and run this through my die cut machine, and then we will come back and we'll decide what color we want to put this on. I was thinking of using the same colors, but the more I look at this beautiful color right here, and I believe that is mango, not mango, mambo, I don't know. I'll have to check, but we'll check that in just a minute. I'm going to go ahead and pull this off and lay this back over here. And let's see. The colors are on the back sheet of this, and Melon Mambo. That's what I was trying to remember, and for whatever reason, I couldn't get that in my head. So I'm going to use this for my base color, but I think for that background, I'm going to use the Mambo, whatever I said it was. Let's pull a piece of that. Melon Mambo. I don't know why I have a hard time calling this melon. I guess it could look like watermelon, but anyway, we're going to use a piece of this, and I'm going to cut a piece of this off at 4 by 5 1/4, and that will give us a mat. So 4 inches this way by 5 1/4 this way. Pull that down a little bit so you can see the top of my trimmer. And then that gives me a mat for that. So I'm going to grab my spool board, and that's going to be the next thing that we do. And I'm going to put this on here, and I'm going to take that piece of blueberry bushel, and I want to score it at 4 and... did I drop my little scoring tool? It always sits right here, so, oh, there it is. It's up underneath the edge of my die cut machine. So let's grab that, and we're going to score at 4 1/4. So that's an 1/8, and that's a 1/4, and then that's a 3/8, and that's a 1/2. So we're going to do it right at 1/4, 4 1/4. And then we're going to turn this and go ahead and crease it down. I think we may be done with that. I do want to take my bone folder, and I am having difficulty with my tools today for some reason. I just don't have everything where I need it to be. So we're going to crease this nice and tight. You want a card that lays flat, and that's what this will help you to obtain. Then this is going to go on. We're going to do some embossing on that because I think it's so pretty embossed. I'm going to take this piece out that we just die cut. And see how beautiful that is? And that is going to go on the front of that like that. I think that's going to be beautiful. And I think for my embossing, I'm going to do something a little different. I'm thinking I'm going to use that exposed brick. I don't know, the basic, I have basics, and there's 3 dies in the basic set. Those are so pretty too. Um, and the texture's pretty. You know, it's always so hard to decide when you've got so many pretty um, embossing folders. I think I'm going to go with the basic. No, I'm going with the exposed brick. I think the exposed brick will be pretty on that. So, finally made my mind up. So I'm going to run this through first. And in order to do that, I am going to put my piece of melon mambo. Oh, I got it right. How about that? I'm going to lay that into my embossing folder and close it. And then I'm going to run this through. And for this, you only need 1 plate because that is a 3D embossing folder. So I'm going to run this through my machine. And there is that. This is such a pretty embossing folder. And everything looks good on it. It's so detailed and so pretty. So that is that. Now, on this other card, I did the same pattern on the piece of designer series paper. I want to do that again. And this time, I think I'm going to change it up. And I am going to use maybe the painted texture on it. Let's try it and see what happens. You never know how something like this is going to turn out until you actually do it. So that's where I have fun. When I'm not recording videos or doing lives, I'm usually in here playing with different things to see what will work, what comes together for me, what I think that you will like. And that takes up quite a bit of my time. All right, I'm going to put that in there like that, and I'm going to lay the cut plate over top of it, and I'm going to feed that through. This is a very easy and simple card to make. It's not hard at all to make. It's just some simple pieces and some die cutting and a couple of embossing. So it's not complicated at all. So there's that piece. Now we are ready to put this one here. But y'all know I like to build my card first before I put anything on it. I want to make sure it's like I want it to be. Well, that is pretty. Look at that. I think I'm going to like that against the other. I think it's nice sometimes to have something just a little bit different, and I do love the way that looks. So put my embossing folders up and my die, and my scraps are going to go over here. I'm just going to drop my little die back into my little pocket so I can keep up with everything. That's always the hardest thing. I am going to use a bow. I used a bow on here. And I'm going to show you that this doesn't have to be, this one I made it as a sympathy card, but you could make this a happy birthday card. You could make it a thinking of you card. Just so many different things that you could do with this. And I think for this, I'm going to bring in this lemon lolly ribbon because I think that'll make a real pretty bow at the top. So I'm going to do my little finger bow that I always like to make. And I'm going to do a 3-looper this time. And 3-looper. It's 3 times around your fingers, and then we're going to cut it. And if I can find my scissors, I'm going to cut it down about like this so that I have plenty of room. And then I'm going to thread that back through. I don't think I went quite far enough with that. So 1, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, and then over. You want to make sure you have the same amount of loops on both of your fingers, and then thread that through that under that index finger. Pull that up like that. And then what you're going to want to do is run that back underneath that loop and then pull it. Just like that. And you just want to rock it back and forth, and you can see how it's starting to come together to form a bow. Once you get it like that, you can pull it off of your fingers. And then you can separate your little loops, and you can see you have a very pretty little loopy bow. And I'm going to cut this and this. Something like that. And then we can put this up here and see how that ties in the yellow that's down here. And I just thought it would give it a beautiful pop of color. We can also, if we wanted to, we could grab another color of the lilac or the blue and put our sentiment on it. But I'm not. I'm going to go with white because I want to pull in some of the white that's showing in that beautiful scene. So I'm going to grab a scrap of white. And y'all know you always got plenty of scraps, so don't let those scraps go to waste. We have lots of pieces like this that are perfect for doing our sentiments on. So now I need a happy birthday. Let's see. I'm going to grab, I always go to my go-to greetings. They could not be named any more appropriate because I do go to these greetings quite a bit. I'm going to grab that happy birthday. I love this happy birthday. It just seems the right size for most all cards. And I'm going to stamp it on this side right about there. And I'm going to do that in some of my VersaFine tuxedo, not tuxedo, I'm sorry, Onyx Black. I like that for sentiments because it makes them very bold and vivid. Now, if you don't have this, you could use Stays On. Stays On is another ink that's very vivid. I like this one because it's not a solvent ink. It is a pigment ink, and I just like the way it looks. So I'm going to stamp that right about there. Beautiful as always. And I'm going to grab my trimmer because I want to trim this off and make sure I never can cut straight. So my trimmer actually allows me to always get a nice straight cut. So I'm going to bring that over to about, let's see what we got here. We've got about a 1/2 inch, maybe 3/4, almost 3/4, maybe 1 3/8. So I'm going to kind of eyeball that right about there and give it a little bit of a slice. And then I want to even it up. I want to make sure that this is trimmed off at the bottom. And then I'm going to turn it and I'm going to trim it at the top as well. I want to make sure I'm not cutting into my words. So that's where this clear track really does help you, because I can see right there that I could cut that off and not cut into my H or my B, the two big letters in the happy birthday. So now once I've got this like I want it, I can decide which side I want my banner to be on. And I think for this one, I want it on this end. So I'm going to cut this off straight across. That looks like it's a little crooked. I'm going to put that back in my trimmer. I think I did myself a little bit of an injustice there, and I didn't get it quite straight enough. So let's bring that back out. The bottom looks good, but the top looks like it's just a little bit off. So I'm going to line it up like that. Put that down. And I think I can cut through that without taking anything else off of it. Yes, and that straightened it up quite a bit. And that's giving me just about what I wanted. So now I can do my little dovetail. So I'm going to cut right into the middle of this, like this. Just snip straight in, then go from that corner to where you cut, And then do the same thing from this side. Go from that corner into where you cut, and then just let that drop out. And you've got a beautiful little banner. And this can go right about here. And then our bow can go here. And then all we got left to do is the inside of this card. What a quick and cute little card that anybody could do. I'm going to put this on with some dimensionals. So I'm going to grab some regular size dimensionals. I want this to pop up a little bit because I think it needs just a little something to lift it off of the card base, just to give it that little extra something. So I'm going to just continue to put my dimensionals all around like that, and maybe two more, maybe one there and one here. And let's do one here in the middle. And I'm just going to use my scissors to pop these off. So easy to get them off when you can wrangle them up like that and not have to worry about those flying every which way. So I'm going to bring it down to the bottom a little bit, but I'm going to try to make sure I get it even to the right and left. And then I'm just going to give that a little press. Now I've got my little bow, so I'm going to use a glue dot to secure that down. So I'm going to hold my glue dots right here, and I'm just going to press that bow into that glue dot and lift it off and sit it right about there. And now we can take this, and I'm only going to put a dimensional on this side because the rest of it's going to get glued flat down. And the only reason we need a dimensional here is because it is lifted. So I'm going to put one dimensional there. And then I'm going to take liquid glue and run it the rest of the way onto my banner. And then we can turn that and sit it down about here. Fits perfect, and it's a beautiful card. Now all we have to do is put some glue on the back of this piece. And then turn this, make sure your card is opening right. You don't want to glue it on upside down or right side out or whatever. So make sure you're getting it on in the proper place. Proper placement does go a long ways in card making. So we'll glue that down like that. And I'm going to fluff my bow just a little bit and give it a squish so that it kind of lays like I want it to. Isn't that cute? Isn't that just the most precious little card? I mean, there's two cards. They're both identical as far as what I did with them, just using different colors. And even though this one looks smaller, it's the very same size as that one. It's just the difference. I use the very same die for both of these. So it just all goes to show it's the paper you use and the sentiments and your color combination. So let's go ahead and cut another piece of that melon mambo. And I want this to be another piece that is 4 by 5 1/4. So I'm going to bring that over to 4. And then turn it and cut it at 5 1/4. And then we need a piece of white for our sentiment. So I'm looking in my scrap bin first. I think I got a piece right there. We're going to cut this at 3 3/4 by 5. Let's go ahead and get rid of our little pieces, bits and pieces. And so now I need to decide what I want to put on the inside. And I am going to looking for a sentiment stamp that will say what I want it to say. So just give me a second. I think I'm going to do this one that says "There's no one like you," and then do another happy birthday. I think that will be really cute, and I think that will there's no one like you. It's this one right here. And I'm going to do that smaller happy birthday from the go-to greetings. And that is this one right here. So let's stamp the first one first, since we're dealing with a cling stamp and a photopolymer. I'm going to do the photopolymer first. And I got a lot of compliments, and I just want to thank y'all for paying attention to the detail that I put in my cards. So I'm so, so very happy that y'all appreciate the fact that I do stamp on the inside of my cards. So thanks so much for that vote of confidence. I appreciate it. I'm going to stamp this in the blueberry bushel, and then we'll do the happy birthday in that melon mambo. So I got that inked up really good, so I'm going to try to get it nice and straight. Very pretty. Now we need a melon mambo. This is the other thing that I absolutely love about Stampin' Up! Products is all of the beautiful color coordination. I am never without an ink that matches my cardstock. I'm never without pattern paper or DSP that doesn't match my cardstock, and that is a game changer for me. The colored pencils, the Stampin' Blends, the Stampin' Write markers, and the paper and the inks. Everything is color coordinated for you, takes all the guesswork out of it, and it's wonderful to have products that do that. All right, so now all I have to do is put these two together. So again, I'm going to use liquid glue, and I'm just going to run a little glue around my edges and just a little bit through the middle. And then we're going to set this down on the melon mambo. Something like that. Isn't that pretty? I love those colors together. And then all we got left to do is put this inside of our card. And if I get a chance this week, I told all of y'all Friday that I got quite a week of doctor's appointments this week. But if I get a chance, I'm going to do something with that other bundle that was called the Fluffiest Friends, because that is just too cute not to do something. And probably by the middle of October, I am going to probably steer away from all occasion cards, and I'm going to go full on Christmas mode. It is that time of the year. We got to get busy with our Christmas cards if we're going to get them done and put that lovely touches on them that we want. And I've got a bunch of ideas in my head that I have planned out for y'all. So, with all that being said, here is our beautiful card. And then there is our inside. And I think anyone would be very pleased to get that for a birthday card. It's bright, it's cheery, and it's colorful. Thank you so much for tuning in today. I hope y'all have a wonderful rest of your week. I'll see y'all all Friday on the live at 2 p.m. If I can throw a video up in between then and now, between now and then, I may do that as well. If not, be on the lookout. 2 o'clock Friday, we'll go live. We're going to have fun again. We're going to laugh and talk and craft. So thanks so much. God bless and keep you. And as I always say in closing, let everything that you do and say bring glory to our Savior. He is worthy. So until next time, God bless and keep you. Bye-bye.